Listen, I'm so sick of people talking about being celibate because being celibate is really a cope. Okay, I'm seeing like all these celebrities and just random people on the internet. Oh, I'm being celibate because it's just helping me out with my spirituality and all that other craziness. It's nonsense, right? Being celibate is a cope because either a lot of times people are celibate because they're trying to get away from something. So, for example, let's say they're depressed. They're like, well, if I'm celibate, then it'll help me be more happy. Or, I got out of this relationship. I broke up with my boyfriend and girlfriend. Now I'm being celibate because I'm on this spiritual journey that's going to make me feel better and all this other nonsense. No, being celibate is not going to change nothing, right? See, if you were inconsistent before you were celibate, once you're celibate, you're still going to be inconsistent after you're celibate. If you're the type of person who is an asshole, you're still going to be an asshole after you're celibate. You understand what I'm saying? After you break the celibacy or whatever it is, you are not going to change because you're celibate, or your problems are not going to go away because you're celibate. You feel what I'm saying? Some people will be celibate because they are, I guess in some form or fashion addicted to sex, or they're having a lot of sex and they feel like they're having too much and all that other stuff, so they think being celibate is going to help them with that problem. But see, the issue is that it's not about getting away from sex that's going to help you, because you being celibate is directly correlated to you still thinking about and being attached to sex. Because being celibate is you not having sex, right? Which is the opposite of having sex, which means you're still attached to the idea of sex. You see what I'm saying? So, you have people out here who are trying to get away from it because either they think they're doing it too much, or they're addicted, or whatever it is. See, the thing is that it's not about trying to get away from it. It's, can you work through it? Can you have sex and not be controlled by sex? Right? Can you have sex and not think that sex is an issue and taking away sex is going to solve your problems? Right? See, think about it this way. You being an alcoholic, right? And you wanting to not drink alcohol, right? You can say, okay, I'm going to not go to bars and I'm going to be away from alcohol. Okay, I get it. That kind of seems like it makes sense, because if you're not around the alcohol, then you won't be tempted to drink the alcohol, right? So that's the thought. But what happens is that you're still directly tied to the idea of drinking alcohol, because everything else that's going on is going to remind you of alcohol. You're like, oh, I'm drinking this juice. Why? Because I'm not supposed to drink the alcohol, so I'm drinking the juice. The juice is always going to remind me of the fucking alcohol. You understand? The water is going to remind me of the alcohol, right? Now, this is the thing. Wouldn't it be better if you could go to the bar, hang out with your friends while they're drinking, and you drink a non-alcoholic drink, and be able to control yourself around alcohol instead of running away from alcohol altogether, thinking that's helping you? And this is what celibate motherfuckers do. So they're being celibate because they're running away from something. And they think by being celibate, it's going to solve the problems that they're having in life, but it really doesn't. So what they're doing is they're playing mind games with themselves, thinking that being celibate is going to change anything. It doesn't change anything. You understand what I'm saying? It's not going to change nothing. You see? And these guys be like, oh, well, I'm doing this celibate thing because I'm on this spiritual journey to get closer to God. What? See, we don't got to get into too much of like religion and spirituality and all this other stuff, because, people have different views on this stuff, and, some people may think this or that, but I'll give you one perspective. So, sometimes when people talk about God, like they look at it in the sense of God basically exists in all things. So we are, God. You understand what I'm saying? Like, we're all gods, all of us, men and women, everything that exists is God. So if you're trying to get closer to God, wouldn't it make sense that you should be having sex? Right? Isn't that getting closer to, if I'm God and you're God, right? Aren't we getting closer to God if we're having sex versus not having sex, which is getting away from God in that situation, or avoiding God? You know what I'm saying? Like, what are we talking about here? God invented you and created you, and you, that sex drive in you is the creation of God, right? So why are you denying the creation of God if you're trying to get closer to God? How are you getting closer to God by denying the natural feeling within you that God gave you? I just don't understand that. So for all you celibate people, tell me what the fuck is all of this about? This shit is ridiculous. This shit right here is a cope. You understand? You are not going to just automatically change because you haven't been sticking your dick in someone for a year. You weren't getting fucked for 2 years or whatever. Like, that's not going to change anything. You understand? Stop coping and start dealing with the real problems.